Man, we got Kick dancing over here.
Okay, man. Like, what's up with that theme song though? Who mixed that? That's fire.
Yeah, listen. So when I first, I had a completely different intro, and when I first started,
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? When I kind of switched from primarily audio only to YouTube too, I was like,
Okay,
I got
gotcha.
to get a new song, man. So I went and I had it
Yeah.
completely redone, and when the sound producer came back with that, I was like, I like that. That's
Oh
pretty
man,
cool.
that's yeah. It was hard. Yeah, I'm over here like, oh yeah, okay, all
Yep.
right then.
Look out for it on the Billboard charts. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Sense Show. I am Micah, and I am here with the man himself, King Randall. And we apologize for having a reschedule for today, but here we are, ready to talk. Got my fish in the back, coming for the ride on the other side. I think you keep on
Shout
forgetting
out to
which
the
one to
fish. The
put up.
fish got names.
No, I'm not that crazy.
Understood. Yes,
Oh
sir.
man, no, I'm old school, so I don't. I name my dog, cat. Fish.
Okay, I understand that. I ain't that old school.
Listen, so I've been following you for a while on Twitter, and I've been following you in the interviews that you've done with Roland Martin. Very interesting. Patrick Bet
Mhm.
David, I saw that one. Jason Whitlock, man, you've been all over the place. Fox News. Did you speak? You spoke to Lawrence Jones, but I think did you speak to Tucker Carlson too?
Never did Tucker. And some people, I don't know if he ever mentioned me or not because I had a lot of people like, I think I saw you on Tucker. I'm like, I don't never remember being on Tucker's show. I never went on his show, but he maybe have said something one
Right.
time or twice or whatever. But I had a lot of people tell me they saw me on Tucker, but mostly I've only talked to Lawrence. I've always only talked to Lawrence on Fox.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, my show was about entrepreneurship and business, and I
Hmm.
thought that nobody embodied the entrepreneur spirit like you did, given the age that you started, the fact that you saw a hole in the marketplace, the fact that you actually did something about it and are doing something about it and continue to do something about it. And primarily today, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on that. And but before we get started, here's what I want to do. Why don't you? I won't do you justice if I introduce you. I think that you should tell people a little bit about yourself, just a little bit quick background on who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, sure. It's going to be very brief so that way we have time to actually answer those questions. But my name is King Randall. I'm the founder of the X for Boys program and the Life Preparatory School for Boys. This is an all boys boarding school in Southwest Georgia, it's in Albany, Georgia. It's completely free. So it's an actual free boarding school. We have 9 students at our school. We take care of everything for them: haircuts, uniforms, food, light bills, Wi-Fi. Everything is completely free. We don't charge parents a dime. We don't charge for our after school program either. The after school program is called the X for Boys program, which most people are familiar with. The school just started last year, but this program in school teaches different skill trades, how to work on cars, houses, like general automotive repair, basic general contracting, firearms training, welding, painting, putting up ceiling fans, changing toilets, you name it. But I started that program when I was 19 years old. And the school also teaches basic reading, math, and arithmetic, of course. And we just try and make sure that students get what they should. And I believe they get what they should in a different environment. A lot of children are not bad or not smart or what have you. They are smart and they need a new environment. That's usually what I discover every time that we are dealing with children. When we take them away from their environment, take them away from the horrible conditions that they're in, they turn into better kids. One of my biggest successes was from the juvenile court system. He had an armed robbery charge, and he's like the best child I ever had in the program that ever came through here. He came to live with me. After he got out of the youth detention center, I asked his mom, could he come live at my house? He lived with me and changed his whole life, and he just needed a different environment to be in. And I discovered that children couldn't read and write while I was doing my summer camp at my house. And all this started at my house to begin with. When
Mhm.
I was doing my summer camp at my house and all that, and seeing kids in different grades can't read and write, it was amazing to me. And that's when I told them I wanted to open up a school one day. So, but yeah, we have the Life Preparatory School open now. And we have all sixth graders, and those students will start with us in sixth grade and then graduate high school with us also. So we'll only take in a new round of sixth graders every year, and we'll grow the school as the kids get older. So that's a brief idea and a brief description of who I am and what I do, and I'm sure we'll dig more into it with more questions.
We will. So you started this whole thing when you were 19, when you kind of first had the vision and saw the
Hmm.
kind of what you wanted to do. Now, okay, so before we start going into the what exactly, so y'all
Hmm.
live. So this school is based in Albany, Georgia, and I'm in
Hmm.
Massachusetts. I tried to say Georgia like I was from Georgia. I'm not sure if it hit, but
Terribly
um,
bad, terribly bad.
yeah. But you see those Boston accents on in movies and stuff. They're just as bad, even though people think they're good. Um,
Hmm.
Tell me about Albany, Georgia. What is it that you saw in the town that you're just like, man, this area needs what I'm thinking about doing?
Yeah, so I live here my whole life here in Albany. Born and raised here in Albany. And the town, for the most part, I call Albany Potential Incorporated. There's so much potential for this city to be greater than it is. It's not a small city in size as far as how big the city is, but we only have about 72,000 people here, and people are leaving. We're number one for crime in the state. Our reading and math percentages are abysmal for our local school system. And I really started the program because one of my classmates at the time, he got sentenced to 30 years in prison after we graduated high school. His younger brother committed a murder. And he wasn't at the actual murder, but he hid the murder weapon, and they got him. On that, it was completely sad, and I'm just like, is there anything that we could do? Is there any type of rehabilitation or something, that we could possibly do to help this? Because I'm like, these kids are not. They don't need. You don't need 30 years in prison for hiding a weapon, man. Like, I'm just, how do you do this? I'm like, can we do something? And after that, I decided I was gonna start a program for boys. I'm like, nah, these kids need to get off the streets. They need to do something. And I was 19 at the time. I made some little flyers on my phone and I put them on Facebook or whatever at the time. And I got parents sign their kids up because I was offering something different, teaching kids how to work on cars and houses and things like that. And also me just being young myself. A lot of children need to see possible, and they don't see possible a lot in their community. They only get to see basketball, football, and rapping. And those are the things that also consider you black too, and that's a whole nother conversation. You can only be successful if you're black and a football player, a basketball player, or a rapper. If you're successful in any other way, then you must be in the Illuminati, or you must be in bed with the white man or whatever. Like, but that's how we've conditioned ourselves to think. We've conditioned ourselves to question our blackness if we are successful in any other way than playing basketball, rapping, and doing football. There must be some bad thing happening that you were able to be successful and I'm not. But that's what we conditioned ourselves to be in, and I don't want that for our students, and that's why we are big on teaching success and showing them black people that are successful in many different areas, because they need to see with their own eyeballs people that look like them that are successful. And if I tell a child that he's not going to be successful because of the system or things like that, I'm going to tell him that his steps may be a little tougher or maybe a little harder. He may have this, and that's something that's important to me. Making sure these children know that they can be something, and I try to be that example for them.
That's awesome, man. So I just want to say, like, if you're watching on YouTube and you have a question for King as we're going through, all you have to do is write it in the chat, and I'll display it, and he can answer. I have some mailbag questions for you, people who knew you were coming on. Email me; they have some questions as well. But I have my own questions. My questions come first before everyone else's. But if you do have one, you can put it in the chat. So you said something which is interesting to me. You said that, like, I was 19. I'm close to age to these young men who I'm trying to motivate and inspire. But that could backfire, right? Because parents could have said, "You're only 19." Right? So
Mm-hmm.
you said, "I am 19." Parents could have said, "I'm only 19. You're only 19." So what is it that you could do? Did you ever have like a tug of war between like your self-confidence about what you could actually accomplish at that age and how people might see you and the seriousness that they would take you?
Never. I never questioned that. Ever, regardless of my age. I was raised in a full family with a lot of men, And I was just never taught to doubt myself, and the way I speak, the things I talk about, the things I was offering weren't being offered elsewhere. I knew that they were going to send their children. Now that we have older men in the community who have other programs or whatever like that, who had a problem with me and telling people I'm too young and stuff like that, oh absolutely, you just make me go harder and to show up, and show out and make sure we prove what we're doing is working. And that was it for me. Usually people saying things about me just make my confidence grow even more, because obviously you see me as some sort of